Winter has a way of exposing weak assumptions. We live surrounded by insulation, central heating, modern bedding and advanced materials, yet, honestly, many people sleep colder today than their grandparents did with far fewer resources. If you study historical living conditions, military quarters and pre-industrial homes, one mistake stands out immediately. Before we get into it, if you value historically grounded survival knowledge like this, make sure you're subscribed to Warfield Prepper Chronicles and give this video a like. This channel exists for people who want practical lessons drawn from real history, not trends. Now, let's get straight to the point. The mistake is treating the bedroom as a living space instead of a heat retention space. Modern bedrooms are designed for daytime aesthetics, not nighttime survival. High ceilings, large open floor plans, uncovered windows, minimal furniture and thin modern bedding all work against heat retention. Historically, sleeping spaces were never treated this way. They were deliberately compressed, layered and thermally isolated. When you sleep in a room designed to look good rather than conserve heat, your body becomes the primary heat source fighting constant loss. In medieval Europe, early modern homes, frontier cabins and military encampments, sleeping quarters were always smaller than common areas. Beds were placed away from exterior walls, ceilings were kept low, and unused space was eliminated. Heat rises and large vertical air volume is wasted energy when you're lying still for 8 hours. A modern bedroom with a high ceiling is effectively a heat sink, pulling warmth away from your body all night. Large air volume above the bed is the first enemy of warmth. From a historical and physical standpoint, the larger the air mass in a sleeping space, the more heat your body must generate to feel warm. Soldiers in winter quarters, sailors at sea, and civilians in cold climates all reduced air volume around the sleeper. This is why box beds, curtained beds, and alcove sleeping were common across northern Europe. They were not decorative. They were thermal systems. You can apply this today by lowering the effective ceiling height around your bed. A heavy canopy, thick curtains suspended from ceiling tracks, or even a temporary fabric enclosure reduces the air your body must heat. This is not theoretical. The same principle is used in cold weather tents and bivouacs. A modern bed sitting exposed in a large room is, well, equivalent to sleeping without shelter. Exposed exterior walls silently drain heat all night. Another overlooked factor is bed placement. Many modern bedrooms place the bed directly against an exterior wall, often beneath a window. Historically, this was avoided whenever possible. Stone, brick, and even modern insulated walls remain colder than interior partitions. Radiant heat loss occurs continuously as your body sheds warmth toward colder surfaces. In winter quarters, beds were positioned against interior walls or shared walls between rooms where heat leakage was minimal. If you place your bed against an exterior wall today, especially in winter, you are recreating one of the coldest sleeping arrangements possible. Moving the bed even half a metre inward can noticeably improve warmth. Adding a thick wool blanket or rug hung on the wall behind the bed replicates historical wall hangings that served both decorative and insulating purposes. Now, modern bedding tends to prioritize softness over, well, thermal performance. One of the most damaging modern assumptions is that thicker always means warmer. But if we look back, bedding systems were actually layered for function, not just for what comfort marketers tell us. Wool, linen and fur were used in very specific sequences because they managed moisture while trapping heat. These days, modern synthetic duvets often trap moisture, collapse insulation under body weight, and, honestly, lose their effectiveness in chilly rooms. A historically informed approach, you see, uses weight and layering rather than just relying on loft alone. A wool blanket placed directly over the sleeper, for instance, will retain heat even when it's compressed. A heavier outer layer helps prevent convective heat loss. So, you can apply this by placing a dense wool blanket closest to your body, followed by a heavier quilt or duvet on top. This actually mirrors military and civilian bedding systems used well into the 19th century. Cold floors sabotage sleep far more than most people realize. Heat loss, doesn't just happen upward. Cold floors pull warmth from the body through conduction, especially when the bed frame is low or poorly insulated. Historically, beds were raised, often quite significantly, and straw, wool or wooden platforms separated sleepers from those cold stone or earth floors. In modern homes, sleeping low to the ground on a metal or minimalist frame allows cold air to circulate freely underneath. Raising the bed, placing insulating material beneath it, or using thick rugs dramatically reduces heat loss. Even a simple wooden platform can make a measurable difference. This is, honestly, just basic thermal management that predates modern heating systems by centuries. Windows are, the weakest point in any winter sleeping space. Glass has always been a problem in cold climates. Historically, shutters, heavy curtains, and layered coverings were standard. A bare, modern window at night is a constant source of radiant heat loss. Even double-glazed units simply cannot compete with thick fabric barriers. Covering windows at night with heavy curtains, wool blankets or insulated panels is historically accurate and immediately effective. Many early modern households, in fact, removed or covered windows entirely during winter nights. You don't need to go that far, but ignoring the window is one of the fastest ways to lose heat while sleeping. Sleeping alone in open space is, a modern luxury with some real thermal consequences. From a historical perspective, solitary sleeping in large rooms is actually quite unusual. Shared beds, shared rooms, and clustered sleeping were, standard for warmth. Body heat was considered a resource. While modern norms are different, the principle still remains valid. The more isolated the sleeper, the more heat must be generated individually. You can, replicate this effect without compromising privacy by reducing space around the bed and increasing insulation layers. Even just placing furniture strategically to block airflow actually mirrors how historical households used chests, screens, and storage to control drafts. Heating the entire house instead of the sleeping space, it really wastes energy. Historically, bedrooms were often unheated, but sleeping systems were optimized to compensate. Modern households, on the other hand, often heat entire homes while neglecting the sleeping microclimate. This leads to cold beds in warm houses, which is, frankly, an inefficient and uncomfortable outcome. Focusing heat where you sleep, through localized insulation and reduced air volume, aligns with historical survival logic. A warm bed in a cool room is far more efficient than a warm room with a cold sleeping setup. To correct the mistake, treat your bedroom as a thermal enclosure, not a showroom. Reduce air volume around the bed. Move it away from exterior walls. Insulate behind and beneath it. Layer bedding for compression resistance and moisture control. Cover windows at night. Raise the bed and block drafts. These are not comfort hacks. They are proven survival practices used across centuries of cold climates. People endured harsher winters with fewer resources because they understood heat management at a personal scale. Modern discomfort is not caused by worse winters, but by forgetting these principles. If this kind of historically grounded practical knowledge matters to you, subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles and share this video with others who take winter preparedness seriously. These lessons are evergreen because physics and human biology do not change. Learn from the past, apply it correctly, and stop letting modern design make your sleep colder than it ever needed to be.